Hi friends, in this session we are going to learn a few very important fundamentals in a C program. So first we are going to learn what are the constants and what are the variables, and then we are going to learn the data types used in a C program. Integers are positive whole numbers, 0 and negative whole numbers. So these are the integers. Then the fractional numbers can also be represented in a C program, like the decimal numbers 0.1, 1.35, whether it is negative or positive numbers, the decimal numbers. And then character type, the alphabets A to Z capitals, A to Z small letters, the numerals 0 to 9, and all the special characters you see on the keyboard. And finally the boolean type, where we can store true or false, yes or no kind of data. Then we'll also see what are the signed and unsigned variables. Then finally we'll also see whether the data type is signed or unsigned. A short integer takes 2 bytes, but let us assume 1 byte. The first bit will be used to store the sign, plus sign or minus sign. If it is 1, for example, so it will be a plus. If it is a 0, it will be a minus. So only the remaining 7 bits will be used to store the data. In that way we can store both positive numbers or negative numbers, but only 7 bits can be used. This bit can only be used for the sign. In the unsigned variables, all the 8 bits will be used for storing the data, because only the positive numbers can be stored. There is no negative numbers, so there is no need to store the sign. So all the 8 bits will be utilized for storing the data in case of unsigned variables. So let us get into the code. Here I have pre-coded it for you so that I can save your time. This data, this string, we are hard coding within the program, so we are not inputting anything. So each time you run the program, it will print the same thing. So these are called the constant values. These are the constant string values, and these are the constant integer values. For example, this is a float value, integer constant float value. We can also define variable. For example, here I mentioned short int s. This is a variable name, so into which we can read a number during execution as well if you want to. In this program we are not doing that, so this is a variable, right? In a C program we have 4 type of integers. One is short int, long int and long int. We all know what are the integers. Integers are either negative numbers or positive numbers or 0. But what is the difference between these 4 types? C compiler will allocate 2 bytes to store the value. If we define the variable as an integer, 4 bytes will be allocated in the memory. Similarly, even for the long int, it is 4 bytes. Long int, it will be 8 bytes. So then the float, fractional numbers we know which will have the decimal point, right? Here I mentioned float f equal to 22 by 7.0. The f is defined as a float data type. Float is nothing but the fractional number. Here why I am mentioning 7.0, because if we say 22 by 7, 22 is also an integer, 7 is also an integer, so the result will also be an integer, but we need a float number, so with decimal points. So that is the reason one of the constant value mentioned as a float value, 7.0. So double is a more precision. For example, float is allocated 4 bytes while double is allocated 8 bytes. But double will have the more precision, more decimal points it can store. Similarly, there is a long double. There is a long double which is mostly not used. So the most common ones are the integer and double. Even float is not used in the real time, so we use double because it is more precision. Then a character type. So we, in the character type, we can store any alphabet, whether it is uppercase or lowercase, or we can store a digit 0 to 9, or any special character which we see on the keyboard. Any single character we can store. Here I want to store my name, so which is not a single character. So I'm taking an array char name. So name is a variable name, char is variable type, but I'm taking it as an array with 20 characters. In C language the index starts from 0. So name of 0 will be K, name of 1 will be R, like this. For example, if it is 14 characters, the name of 13 will be N. Then there is also called a boolean data type. For example, married, it either takes true or false, yes or no, right? So either married or not married. So for such data types we use bool. But for bool data type to be used in a C program, we have to include stdbool.h, because this is not part of the standard io.h library. So bool is part of the standard bool stdbool.h library, so we are including this. So let us see. I'm printing the values of this. Of course, in the next session we are going to discuss, so what are these formats specifiers in the printf. Printf is an output statement. Now here I am formatting everything as 20, which means 20 spaces it takes, and %d. So we can give like this also, %d, but %20d means 20 spaces it will take. To print short int or int, we use %d. Here the value of the variable will be replaced, and this /n is to move the carriage return to next line. So after printing this hello world and space, it will move to next line, so that this will get printed in the next line. So similarly for int d, for long int generally we use ld, and for the long int we use lld, and for the float value %f, here I am giving 20.15, which means take total 20 spaces, but after the decimal point 15 spaces, means maximum 4 can be here, 15, decimal point 116, then the remaining 4 will be before the decimal point. So total 20, but after the decimal point 15. So I'm formatting such a way everything prints in 20 characters. So for double we use the lf, and for long double also we can use the lf. I'm using lg here to show on a different format. And for character, %c, so value of c will get printed, one character. Here I am printing a string. Name is a variable, right? So I am giving name, so the entire name will be printed. %s is for the string. Similarly for boolean, so I am printing like this. If it is I can simply say give this variable, but what it prints is, it prints as true. Here I have mentioned true, but I don't want to print as true, but I want to print as yes or no. So this is a condition. If married is true, then yes, else it is no. So this way I am printing it. All these we can learn later. So this return is because the return value is defined as integer for main, so we are returning 0. So now let us execute and see. So I am saving it. Then here gcc, the file name is datatype.c, output file datatype.exe. It got compiled. Now we can also see datatype.exe file got created. So we can execute this by saying datatype or datatype.exe. So here you can see the output. The short int hello world, it printed short int, the spelling mistake I have given, short int, the number 1 2 3 4 5, int and long int almost same value, and long int a big value it can store. The float value and double value, it looks same but it is not same. So you can see here 142857, after this it shows 0, whereas double after 142857 it shows 1. So which one is correct? So we have to take double as a correct. If you do not want this many digits, just 1 or 2 digits, we take float. But if you want precision for more points, more decimal digits, then we have to take double. This is a reason in the real time people don't use float, but they use double, so it gives more precision. So this gives two different values, right? So double will be the correct one. Similarly long double is never used, So it prints in a different format, exponential format and all that. So this is not used. And char type we are printing, which has a character M. And string, it has a string called Krishna Mohan. Boolean, although we have given true, it is printing as yes because we have given that expression. So this is about the data types. So basically the integers, the float numbers or fractional numbers, float or double, and character types, either single character or array, and then the Boolean type. There are 4 data types basically. Please subscribe and do not forget to press bell icon so that you get all notifications. Thank you.